Hi there. In this video, we're going to go over some exercises to try to correct both a combination of rounded upper back and rounded shoulders. So this sort of thing, right? Which we all get into from working at computers and just generalized weakness from young to old. It gets worse as we get older, but lots of young people have poor posture as well. So I'm just going to take you through a series of exercises that I teach my clients to try to begin to correct that postural fault. So the first thing we're going to do is an exercise using a foam roller. So think of this as your warm-up. It's to help to start to warm up and stretch both the muscles and the joints. So if you don't have one, great tool to have at home. All right, so what you're going to do is lie on the roller. Place it sort of somewhere in the middle of your back, and you're going to place your hands behind your head to support the weight of the head. Now, usually what I start with is just some generalized big rolling from top to bottom, a little bit of side to side action. This is mostly just to get the muscles warmed up before we do this, okay? And you can spend a minute or a minute and a half doing that. From that, I start to work on just starting to take the spine into extension or back bending. Now, from a forward, rounded position, that will look like a way of starting to straighten the spine. So, and you can do that segmentally. So you just go back and you stretch one little piece at a time. Keep the head supported. You're working on bending the spine backward. And then you can move a couple centimeters and then do it again. Working on trying to bend the spine backward. And this really helps when we get into strengthening because you already have that range of motion. Moving down another couple centimeters, bending backwards. And again, you can spend a minute or two just warming this up here. You can go further down. So I didn't start at the bottom, I started upward a little bit. Feels amazing. When you first start doing it, you may be a little bit sore, but after you've been doing this for a while, it really starts to feel great. It's like a big yawn for your back. Okay, that's the first one. Grab your foam roller and play around with that. Now the second one, we're going to do a stretch. It's sort of a variation on a yoga cobra. So we're just taking the spine into extension. Now what you want to be careful of here is that you don't crunch in the lower back. Be very rare to crunch in the upper back, but it can happen as well. So you're going to come onto your stomach, take your hands out to your side. You want to keep the stomach muscles active in this. So by activating the stomach muscles, you tend not to overextend through the low back. And from there, you're just going to push up and back, trying to focus on stretching through that mid to upper back area. You can hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. As long as you're not feeling a crunching in the low back, feel free to just work into it. And I usually do that 3 or 4 times. You can play around with different positions in the hands. So when we get into the strengthening exercises, by having done this already, you're not working against the tightness. You already have the freedom of movement, and then you're just working on the muscles. Okay. The third one we're going to do is downward dog from yoga. Now, by using downward dog, we're starting to use more muscle. We've got a little bit of the effect of gravity to take you into the position, but primarily here, you're working on starting to get these muscles in the upper back working to keep you more upright, okay? I'm going to talk you through it, ease into it. In this version of downward dog, we're not really working on hamstrings, so you can keep your knees bent. It's all about the upper body component of it. So a yoga mat really helps, but as long as you have some sort of a surface where you're not going to slip, you're going to be good. Okay, so keeping the knees bent. What we're going to do is work to bring the armpits towards the floor. So you're pushing with your arms and moving downward. So you're just starting to allow those muscles that run up and down the spine to start to activate. And you want to focus on the parts of the spine for you that are the most rounded. So it's a beautiful active exercise. If you only have time to do one thing, doing a downward dog is a great exercise to start to warm up the spine. Okay. You should already be starting to feel like your spine feels more alive and more energized and more upright. Okay, the next one we're going to do is one that we do up against the wall. So there's several variations of this one. Some people will use a wall angel, which is a great exercise. The one that I'm doing is what I call against wall shoulder flexion. So here we go. You're going to stand against the wall. You want your feet forward a little bit. You're going to press the mid part of your back against the wall. So feet are forward, hips are against the wall, mid back is against the wall. Now you're going to lead with your thumbs and you're going to take your arms up and you're going to try to reach for the wall. Now if your thumbs get right to the wall, from there you're just going to press into the wall. If they're not quite there, that's fine as well. Just hold, breathe, hold, breathe, and then let it go. Okay? Hard work. Okay, here we go again. So reconnect, pelvis against the wall, mid back against the wall. As you're taking the arms up, try not to let the mid back lift away from the wall. So keep that pressing downward as you work on taking the arms back. Okay, and then bring the arms down. Now, I suggest doing this probably 5 repetitions with about a 10-second hold. So that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10. That's lots of work for those muscles to get them all working. Okay? So about 5 times with that one. So quick review again. First thing we did was the foam roller. Second thing we did was the cobra. Then we did downward dog, and then against the wall, shoulder flexion. Okay, now we come to the floor. These are the hardest ones. So from here, we're going to do prone position exactly like that one. Okay, so there are modifications you can do for this. So I'm going to show you the most intense one, and then I'm going to show you some modified versions of it. Okay, the most intense one is with your arms reaching up overhead. And you want to keep your arms straight, and you want to keep the arms relatively close to your ears here. Now you're going to activate your stomach, so you're not going to over crunch the small of the back. And from there, you're just going to lift your arms up and hold. And lower. And lift. And hold. And lift. And hold. And lower. With this one, I usually suggest somewhere between 15 to 20 repetitions. Now, if that's too intense for you, you can do a shorter arm version, which is also really nice. You take your fingers behind your head and you just lift the arms up like this. Be careful with this one that you don't crunch the neck. So keep looking towards the floor when you do it, and then lower. Same thing, up, hold, and lower. Okay, got that one? All right, the last one we're going to do is in the same position, but it's a sweeping motion. So you're going to take your arms from overhead to behind the back. Overhead to behind the back. So let me show you what that looks like. So very similar position here. Your arms are going to start up and you're going to reach down. Bring your arms up and then reach down. So the whole time the shoulder girdle is working as well as your back extensors. Okay. Now, with all of these, you're looking for, or the last few anyway, you're looking for a fatigue point. And most of you are going to reach that. You're going to get to a point where you go, okay, that's enough. Is it true failure? No, but it's a really good sense of fatigue. You should walk away from this going, oh, I feel more upright. So the shoulders are in position. The chest is lifted a little bit more. The neck feels freer. So this is a series you can easily do every day if this is an issue for you. So hopefully that's helpful. Any questions or comments, please leave it below. This video is sponsored by Joint Butter H+. It's an advanced joint mobility and injury supplement. It's made by Dr. Tobias Naturals, and you can find it online at petertobias.com.